Hi there and welcome to this video review of the Creative Outlier Air V2 earbuds. Now before we begin, Creative were kind enough to send me a set of earbuds for the purpose of this review. I've had them for about a week now and been testing them out. So what I thought would be useful is to share my thoughts and opinions on using the Outlier Air V2s, the things that I liked, some of the things that I didn't like, and hopefully that might be useful for you if you're thinking about picking them up. Now the number one most important thing for me when listening to a set of headphones is the quality of audio coming out of them. And for me, the Outlier Air V2s were really good. The audio was rich, it was detailed, it felt like there was a full frequency response. Various different genres of music that I listened to all sounded good and faithful the way I expected them to. Now not only did I use the Outlier Air V2s for listening to music, but I also watched some movies through them as well. And I was suitably impressed with the performance in this area as well as listening to music. Dialogue and sound effects were produced faithfully, and overall it was a really pleasant experience using them to watch movies. Now being an in-ear style headphone, what the Outlier Air V2s do have is quite a large amount of passive noise cancelling. So once those headphones are embedded within your ear canal, you do block out a lot of external sounds. Now for some people that's great because that's exactly what they're trying to do. Obviously, if you're using these in a busy environment, in traffic, you're walking, you need to be aware of your environment. That is something to take into consideration, but these do have quite a high level of passive noise cancelling. Now, being a wireless headset, most people are going to be using these with a phone. So I thought it was important to test out the call quality coming through these headphones, made a number of phone calls and video calls with them. Certainly my experience of receiving the audio was crystal clear, really good. And speaking to the people that I was having the calls with, the video calls and the phone calls, they all reported that the clarity on their end coming through the microphone was really good as well. So overall, from an audio perspective, the headphones do a fantastic job and I'd have no problems at all recommending them on that front. Now the headphones themselves have a quoted battery life of 10 hours. And this obviously depends on usage and volume, etc. But I found this to be pretty much in the right ballpark. They come with a handy carrying case, which is also used to charge the headphones. So when you have it plugged into a wall outlet, it just works as you would expect as a normal charger. The carry case itself has a battery built in, and this holds about 34 hours worth of charge. And this is handy because if you're traveling around, you don't want to connect the carry case to the wall, you can still get multiple uses out of your headphones just from charging them from the carry case. Now in terms of the controls, the headphones are touch sensitive, so there's no physical buttons built into them. And on the whole, this works pretty well, but it is a little bit clunky, I found, and also you have to remember the controls, and it also depends which ear you press on. So for example, to play pause the music, it's a double tap, and that works on either headphone. If you want to increase the volume, it's a long hold on the right headphone. If you want to decrease the volume, it's a long hold on the left headphone. And if you want to skip forward, it's a triple tap on the right, and skip back, it's a triple tap on the left. So if you wanted to skip back, for example, 4 tracks, that's 12 presses on the left headphone. You also can't see what you're pressing, so I did find a few times that it wasn't quite doing exactly what I wanted. And the fact that these are also marketed as a sport type headphone, if you're using these for jogging and trying to press multiple times on a small surface area that you can't see, doesn't always work that great. So wasn't the biggest fan of that, not necessarily a deal breaker, but it is something just to be aware of. Now the Outlier Air V2s are marketed as a sports style headphone, so they are IPX5 rated. So this should stop against sort of any sweat. It's not going to work if you submerge the headphones, but they should be pretty water resistant to most outdoor activities, even in the wet. Now, one of the things that the Outlier Air V2s come with is the compatibility with Super XFi. Now, I hadn't used this before and I was quite intrigued and interested by exactly what it was and how it worked. And in essence, what it tries to do is create a sort of soundstage feel to headphones. So typically when you listen to headphones, if you close your eyes, that sound will be generated inside your head. And what Super XFi attempts to do is bring that outside and make it appear that you're listening to music on a soundstage sort of environment. So it's actually coming from outside and hitting your ears. What you need to do is download the Super XFi app. And then you have to do a few strange steps of actually mapping your own head. So you take pictures of your ears and your face, and then apparently what it does is it creates its own soundscape within the app that's unique to yourself, and then it will help produce that soundstage sort of environment. And overall, it does work quite effectively. It was really interesting listening to different types of music, closing my eyes, lying there and kind of feeling that I was in a room with that artist or that they were performing almost in a live way. The downside to it is that you can only do that with music that you have downloaded to your phone or your device, for example. So you have to have the music file. You can't use it with streaming services such as Spotify or Amazon Music or anything else. And that kind of really limits it, I think, because most people who are listening to music are streaming it. So it is kind of a niche thing, I think, but quite effective and quite interesting to use nonetheless. So overall, the Outlier Air V2s are a really good set of in-ear wireless headphones. The sound quality alone is grounds enough for me to recommend them. I think it is really good and I had a really pleasant experience listening to music and watching movies through these headphones. The charging solution and the amount of battery life that you get out of these headphones as well is great. And apart from those touch controls, which I didn't get on with 100%, these are a great set of headphones. Hopefully this video has been useful. If you've got any questions or comments about the Outlier Air V2s, drop them below. I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you next time.